Hey, baseball fans, it's Jason. So, today was the big meeting between the MLB and the MLB Players Union. Well, actually, yesterday, because it's after midnight, but it was the meeting. The first major proposal was put forth. I know they've been negotiating and talking about parameters and blah, blah, blah to start the 2020 season, but the Major League Baseball finally put forth their first official proposal. And of course, the Players Union is going to come back and counter it, and that's going to be part of the negotiating process until they can come to an agreement on the parameters to reopen or restart the season, which is going to be an 82-game season as far as we know right now. Okay, but let me go over the parameters of what was discussed today, okay, because it's important that we kind of have an understanding. Number one is going to be a sliding scale, okay, from the highest paid players down to the lowest paid players, and the parameters are going to be a little bit different. But I'm going to work my way up, and you'll see why as I do it. Okay, I'm going to give you the salary that they make, and then the number that the players thought they had agreed upon in terms of a prorated salary for the season, and then what was actually proposed by the MLB today, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so the player's minimum first is $563,500. This is just my research book I'm reading out of. That's the minimum salary in the major leagues. Okay, the prorated salary that they thought they agreed on was $285,000 or $285,000, which is approximately half or just under half. Major League Baseball is asking them to take $262,000, which is an additional pay cut from what they thought they'd agreed upon already. Okay, so they'd be making 91% of their prorated pay. Okay, the next level, players that make $1 million a year thought they were going to be playing for $500,000 prorated, but Major League Baseball is asking them to take $434,000, which is about 85% or 85.8% of the prorated pay. Players that make $2 million a season were expected to play for $1 million a season, basically half the season, half the pay. But now they're being asked to take $736,000, so an additional, about 27% on top already, an additional 27% off. So players that are supposed to make $5 million a year thought they were playing for $2.5 million. Now they're asked to play for $1.64 million. Okay. Players that make $10 million a year thought they were playing for $5 million, so it's basically half. Now they're being asked to play for $2.95 million, which is 58.2% of the prorated pay. Players that make $15 million a year thought they were playing for $7.5, but now they're asked to play for $4.05 million, okay, which is like an additional 40% on top, an additional 40% cut or somewhere around there. Players that are making $20 million a year, these are the big names now, thought they were playing for 10. Now they're being asked to play for 5.15, so almost another 50% pay cut. Players that are making $25 million a year, it's only a handful of them, we're expected to play for $12.5 million, and now they're asked to play for $6.05 million. Players that are making $30 million a year, there's a couple of them, thought they were playing for $15 million a year, are now asked to be playing for $6.95 million, which is almost 51%, an additional cut from what the prorated pay would have been. Okay, and last but not least, the highest tier players making $35 million a year thought they were playing for $17.5 million. The prorated salary, now they're asked to play for $7.84 million this season, which is another 44.3% of their prorated cut. So that's the scale. The players at the bottom are not being hit as hard as the players at the top, obviously. That's why it's a sliding scale. Okay? A couple of things here. Obviously, this is an initial proposal from the MLB. The Players Union has already made it clear that they're not happy. So they're going to come back with their counter proposal. And some owners have shown some willingness to compromise, which is good. That'll help in negotiations. And the players, there are several players who do feel it's an improvement from the revenue sharing proposal, which have been very uncertain. This at least gives you a guaranteed number. So that's another step forward. And like I said, some owners have been willing to negotiate. Not everybody. Some owners are being ridiculously frugal and cheap now, particularly the owners of the Oakland A's and the Los Angeles Angels. They're starting to cut things and cut rid of the minor league stipends. They're starting to save money. And the Oakland A's, the tactic was to kind of cut benefits from a whole bunch of players, which to save $1 million, but the owner is worth $2 billion. So I don't know. That's just a sign. To me, it's a sign of greed, but I don't know. Like I said, the union is going to counter. Some of the things we're hearing about in the union's counter is, possible deferments on the initial prorated salary, which would have been half the salary, so maybe extend it out, potentially that, or or flat reduction across the board, like everybody takes a 20% cut, or whatever it is, a 30% cut, or whatever they can agree upon to kind of soften the blow. Those are some of the things that are being talked about right now. Now, from my perspective, it's really hard to feel sorry, at least in my opinion, to feel sorry for someone who's only going to make $6 million a year. Because he makes more than 99.5% of the rest of the world does. But that said, we do go to the games to see the players, not the owners. And the players are the ones that are going to be at risk going in there and playing every day, at risk of potentially catching COVID-19. So that needs to be taken into consideration. The players at the highest paid players, that's almost like a 70% or 80% pay cut. That's kind of crazy. The owners are going to have to give a little bit here. They're sitting on billions in profits. And these players, even though it doesn't matter, lowest paid, highest paid, they're all putting themselves at risk every day. They would be risking themselves 82 games during the season, and then, potentially during the playoffs as well. So that has to be taken into consideration. Obviously, the union's going to come back with a counter, but those are the numbers that we know as of this morning. So hopefully this was helpful. I'm going to keep you updated, and anytime I get some new information, you'll know right away. I'll put out a video. If you enjoyed this, please click that thumbs up. And if you're a baseball fan, you like baseball, good baseball videos that are especially made by a fan for the fan, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate your support. I'm trying to grow this channel. If you want to continue watching videos, make sure you hit that notification as well. So with that said, be safe out there, healthy, look out for each other, and I'll talk to you next time.